chapter 11 starts off with Jesus and John the Baptist. And John the Baptist is Jesus' cousin, okay? But he is also the prophet that is supposed to come right before the Messiah to announce his coming, okay? And so that's kind of the context of where we are. And in chapter 11, verse 2, it says, "When John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples to ask him, 'Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?' Jesus replied, 'Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me.'" I've read through the book of Matthew so many times in my life, but this specific passage really stuck out to me today, because despite growing up with Christ and knowing who he was, even John's faith begins to falter once he's in prison, once he is faced with persecution, okay? And that is very common, that is very understandable, especially when you're thrown into prison and we know what happens with him. He gets his head cut off. I mean, that's literally insane for preaching about Jesus coming, okay? And just being this radical man for the faith. So, he is very, very understandably stressed, and his faith is kind of faltering right here. But instead of faulting him, Christ was gracious enough to give him signs of the truth, signs that he is the person who was to come to save the Jews. He was the person that John was waiting for. But the thing is, John had to ask first. He said, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?" And then Christ reveals himself to him. Oftentimes we expect him to reveal himself to us, but we don't search for him. We don't ask him questions. We don't ask for signs. And yet, right here, he asked, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?" And Jesus graciously shows him signs and wonders, showing that he is the way, the truth, and the life. So, if you are stressed, if you are wondering and worrying about whether Christ is the way, you have to take the initiative to truly dive in and see if he is. You cannot expect him to reveal himself to you if you don't do the work on your end. This is not a one-way street. I have said this so many times now, I feel like, but this is something that God has really been putting in my heart heavy recently, is that this is not a one-way street. It is not a one-way relationship. And we have to be seeking him in order to hear from him, in order to be having things revealed to us, okay? So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm sorry if I got a little tongue-tied. It's hot in this car. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.